Hello. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you all for squeezing your time to attend this webinar. And let's wait for a few more minutes and so that all the audience will join. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you all for taking time to join this webinar. Myself, Kishore Jalla, and I would like to introduce Mr. Mark Stirneman, who is the Vice President and Director of Customer Service. He's going to explain you why we need Netlaw, and I would like to request Mark to start this webinar.
Yeah, thank you, Kishore. I appreciate it. Let me start by sharing my screen so everyone can follow along.
Mark, 1 minute. Sorry, if any one of you have any questions, please type those questions in the chat window so that we can answer those questions at the end of this webinar. Thank you. And sorry, please, Mark.
No, perfect. I was going to say that as well. So I'm glad you came on and said that. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for giving me this time to speak to you about Netlaw and talk to you about the importance of estate planning. So like the screen says, when you think about estate planning, you think about protecting your wealth and your health. And at Netlaw, that's exactly what we do. So what is Netlaw? Netlaw is an online technology company that was created out of an estate planning law office in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where I'm from. And at the law office, we served wealth clients. You needed a lot of money to come in and get your estate planning done by one of our attorneys. But we were only servicing a very small fraction of our community. But what we really wanted to do is take estate planning nationwide through financial representatives. So how do we do that, right? And the easy answer was technology. So what we did is we worked with attorneys in all 50 states to come up with a template. So when you go through the Netlaw program, when you complete this program and you print out your documents, you're getting the same exact documents you would get as if you went to an attorney, sat down in his or her law office, and they printed out the documents for you. Same exact documents. And that technology that we created with attorneys in all 50 states awarded us the James Keene Award from the American Bar Association. Now that award is given out each year to the company that has the best online delivery of legal documents. And as of today, We are the only one in estate planning that's ever won that award. So that's pretty awesome, right? Because you think of some of our biggest competitors like LegalZoom and LegalShield. They haven't won this award, mainly because they focus on so many different things. The great thing about Netlaw and our technology is that we only focus on one thing: estate planning. This is our most popular plan. It's our premium probate avoidance package, and it is available in all 50 states. Now, everything that you see in this column, you get for $600. And I'm going to go through these documents and kind of give you a reason why you need them. And then we'll dive in a little bit later on the specific needs. But I want you to have a clear understanding of everything that comes in this program. And again, this is $600. This is what we sell 90% of the time at Netlaw. This exact package in our law office is anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000, depending on what attorney you speak to. A lot of people go, well, why is it so inexpensive? Well, the easy answer is we've already paid the attorney fees. The attorneys have done all the work. This is a DIY product. The template has already been created by attorneys. All you do is go in and fill in the blanks. Very easy. The software asks you a question and you answer it. Doesn't get any easier than that. So let's go through these documents and kind of explain exactly why you need them. Most people, when you think about estate planning, they'll always think of will and trust, right? Do you have your will and trust in place? And a lot of people think that that's just one document. Your will and trust is one document. Actually, it's two totally separate documents. And I always get the question, well, what's the difference between will and trust? Well, I'm going to tell you. So let's take the first one, the last will and testament. Now, why do we create our will? Now, a lot of you may be first generation here in the US, maybe from India, right? A lot of our clientele is from India, and they're first generation here. The great thing about India, their estate planning is easy. It goes to your spouse, and then it goes to your kids, and then next of kin. But that's not how it's done here in the US. So the first reason that we have to create a will is we're going to have to name an executor, someone who's in charge when we pass away, who's going to pay your final expenses, who's going to make sure that your taxes are filed for that year. All of that has to be done. And the major reason is they're responsible for making sure that your assets get to the right beneficiaries, right? So in the will, we list all of our assets and who those beneficiaries are going to be, making sure that what we've told someone that they're going to get actually happens. The second reason we do a will is you have to name a guardian, right? If you have a child or children under the age of 18, something happens to you and your spouse unexpectedly, who's going to have custody of your kids? So we always have to name a guardian in our will. And the third reason, just like I said, we list our assets and who those beneficiaries are going to be. So your executor, your guardian, and your specific bequest, just listing your assets and who the beneficiaries are going to be. That is exactly why we do the will. Now, if you don't complete a will here in the US, then all of your assets are frozen, and then that goes through the probate process. And that probate process lasts anywhere from 30 to 180 days. And that's how long it takes for your assets to get to your beneficiaries. So always important to make sure that we list all of these assets. And we're going to talk about avoiding the probate when we get down to the trust. The second line item there is the children's trust. So this is for people who have children under the age of 18. Do you want your children to receive their full inheritance at age 18? If so, great. That's how it's going to be for all 50 states. But the children's trust was designed so that you could spread that inheritance out over time. Maybe a little bit of it at age 18, right? When they go off to college. Maybe a little bit of it at age 25. They're out of college, they're starting their careers. And then maybe the remainder of it at age 30, starting a family, right? They receive that extra funding from your inheritance. The age range and the percentage are totally up to you. You can give it all to them at age 25, age 27. It depends on what you want to do. But it's a great way to spread that out over a little bit of time so that they don't receive everything at age 18. Third line item is our financial power of attorney, right? We all know what that is, our POA. Naming someone who can make our financial decisions for us when we can't do it for ourselves. So very important. This is the person that can write our bills for us. If we're trying to sell our house, they can help do that. They can sign the paperwork. Anything financial, they can help with. The next 3 documents that I'm going to talk about are for your healthcare decisions, right? Your healthcare surrogate, just like your financial power of attorney, except it's for your medical decisions. So this is your medical POA. Someone who can speak to the doctors and nurses on your behalf. Let him know your desires and wishes. That's the role of the healthcare surrogate. HIPAA authorization works hand in hand with the healthcare surrogate. That's someone who can see your medical charts, psychotherapy notes. They can be the same person or they can be someone different. And then the big one, the advance directive. It's called a living will in some states. That's your end of life decisions. Keep me alive as long as possible, or let me pass naturally when it's time. Your decision, you need to make it. If you don't, the hospital will make it for you. We have a pet trust. As I said, we're from Kentucky. So if you know anything about Kentucky, you know, the Kentucky Derby is here, and thousands of horse farms are here. And a lot of the horse farm owners come in and do their estate planning with our attorneys. But we kept this in here for just the ordinary pet of the family, right? Dog, cat, rabbit. If you pass away unexpectedly, someone has to come in and take care of that animal, right? You can leave a little bit of money behind for that person so that that pet doesn't become a financial burden. And then the revocable living trust, right? We talked about that in the beginning. When you think about estate planning, a lot of people think about will and trust. Well, we talked about how important the will is. So let's finish the documents with our trust, right? It's our probate avoidance trust, funding our assets into this trust so that it avoids probate, right? And we already talked a little bit about probate from the will. But when you pass away, all of your assets are frozen. Again, that gives creditors time to come in and take what's owed to them first. Then what's left gets passed to your beneficiaries. All assets in your trust are passed to your beneficiaries right away, and they avoid the probate process. So very, very important. And this can be property here in the US or overseas. So those are all of the documents that you get. Then there's 3, what I like to call comes with, right? Our Life Vault. That's our cloud storage system. It's included in the Netlaw plan. And it's a place where you can store all of your important documents. Of course, your estate planning documents. But how about deeds to houses, titles to cars, tax information, you know, life insurance, annuity policies, pictures, videos, anything that you can store in this vault, we absolutely want you to do that. The vault has 100 gigabytes of data, so you should never run out of storage space. The spouse's plan is included in this, so both of you get to complete your full set of documents for $600. And then finally, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you try the program out and for any reason you don't like it, that's okay. We'll give you your money back, no questions asked, as long as you haven't downloaded any of the documents. This package here, again, $600, gives you everything listed here. 90% of what we do at Netlaw is this plan right here, but we do offer other ones. So the Essentials package pretty much is the same exact plan as our package that we just previously talked about, the $600 package, but it does not include the trust. So the difference between the $400 and $600 plan is the $400 plan does not include the trust. And we've already talked about how important that is. We do have an ILIT. It's our irrevocable life insurance trust for $750. Now, this trust, if you have a lot of life insurance, and what makes it valid is probably anywhere from 5 to 10 million starting out to make this a viable option. But you can place that life insurance policies into this trust, and it does help out with taxes to the beneficiary. And then we have the 2 healthcare packages, healthcare package and student package. I call them the starter packages because they're only $99. They're designed for 18, 19-year-olds. You know, the child just became an adult, right? Going off to school or going into the workforce. They may not own a home or a car yet, but they do need the power of attorney document, and they need the healthcare documents. And even the student package contains the FERPA consent form for college. The last package that we offer is our special needs trust. We just came out with this about a month ago. And I've worked on this for about 2 years, getting special needs into our platform. This is a third-party special needs trust. It's available, again, in all 50 states. And what this trust is designed to do is accept assets from everyone except the special needs person. And what you're going to do is you're going to fund this trust with your assets that you're giving to the special needs person, so that the trust owns the asset, not the individual, so that it doesn't affect federal funding and they get to retain their government benefits. This is a $750 plan. In our law office, it's over $3,000. So if you know anyone who has a special needs child, this may be exactly what they're looking for. I'm going to go back 2 screens and just talk about this plan just for a little bit more, because it's going to relate to the next slide that I'm going to show you. $600 for the program. All of these documents are revocable. That means you can go in and change them at any time for the first year. After the first year, if you want to keep your plan open and active, great. It's just $8 a month, $96 a year, for the ability to go in and edit your documents at any time. Of course, that is optional. You don't have to keep your plan open. You can pay the $600, do your documents, and be done after the first year. However, if you do cancel out, you do lose the ability to go in and edit any documents later. But anything that you stored in your vault is yours. You can print them out at any time. Now, I have a lot of people go, well, why would I ever want to change my documents anyway? Life events, I call it. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot about this screen. You can read through them. But these are kind of the reasons that I thought of why you would want to change your documents. You know, you think of birth of a child, birth of a grandchild, or maybe you adopt a child, right? Now you want to put that person into your will. But if you already had your will created, now you got to go back to the attorney's office, pay $300-400 to get it edited, and pay that silly fee. With the Netlaw plan, all you do is log into your plan, and you just add or take anything away. I like the one about relocation to a new state. Let's say you're in Texas. You do your plan, right? And then you get a new job in Arizona. Well, if you didn't have this plan through Netlaw, you would have to go see an attorney again and get your documents done and pay another $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, because each state has their own estate planning laws. Again, with Netlaw, you just log into your plan, change your address, update all of your documents to the new address, to the new state, print them out and get them witnessed and notarized. How easy is that? The days of going to an attorney for your estate planning are over. The attorneys have already created these documents for you. They've created the template. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. So I've talked about Netlaw, how we were started, the award that we won, and I went through all the different plans that we offer. But I kind of want to dive in a little bit deeper and kind of bring home why estate planning is so important. And there's 4 reasons. 1, you decide who gets your assets. That's not true. Without a will, and you don't list your assets in the will and who those beneficiaries are going to be, the court system will come in and decide who gets your assets. So you may want everything to go to your spouse and then to your kids. That's not how it's going to work. If you don't have a will, again, the court system will come in and they will decide who gets your stuff. So maybe 50% goes to your spouse. 25% may go to your kids. 25% may go to your next of kin, brother, sister, mom, dad. We do the will and we do our specific bequest so that we can list our assets and who's going to get them. Plus, Nobody wants the court system coming in and making any decisions for them. Which leads me to number 2. Custody of minor children. If you don't list a guardian in your will, again, the court system will come in and decide who gets custody of your kids. Again, we don't want the court system coming in making any decisions for us. And we don't want families fighting over this, right? If mom and dad pass away, the kids just lost their family. Now the mom side of the family's fighting for them, the dad side of the family's fighting for them, and the kids are just stuck in the middle. Everybody that they know is fighting over them. It's so easy to complete your will and name a guardian so that you, 1, decide who's going to have custody of your kids, and 2, stop all of the fighting. Avoiding probate. We talked about this with the trust, right? If you've ever went through the probate process, it is terrible. It's very time consuming. It's expensive. You got to go to court. You got to hire a lawyer. You got to take time off work. The way to avoid all of that hassle is simply fund your assets into the U.S. Trust. And we have funding instructions that show you how to do that. It's very, very simple. And we can help you out with that. We can get you to the right people. And lastly, medical decisions, right? Your medical power of attorney. How important is that to have? Someone who can speak to the doctors and nurses on your behalf if something happens to you and you can't speak for yourself, right? Making sure that your wishes are followed through with. And then our living will and advance directive. Remember, I said those were your end-of-life decisions. I can't tell you how many people have called up and they said, well, we didn't know what mom and dad wanted. So is it too late to get medical documents or anything? Well, yeah. If they can't speak for themselves or they're laid in a hospital unconscious, it's too late. They have to sign these documents. This is why we do it now, because no one should have to make that decision on whether to pull the plug on mom or dad, right? Nobody should have to make that decision. It's kind of like we're taking care of everything now, so we don't have to when it's too late, right? We're taking care of all of our decisions, not only for ourselves, but for our family. So this is the last screen. Why create estate planning documents? Why Netlaw? Personal, right? I've talked about the whole presentation. Your decisions. You need to make them. And conversational. When you do this, let people know you did them, right? When you do your documents, hey, if anything happens to me, here's where you can find my last will and testament. Here's where you can find my trust, right? Let people know where to find them. Remember, we're an IT company. We're digital. You can get into your account 24/7, 365. Your account is always open with us as long as you're paying that $8 after the first year. 24/7 access. That is very, very important. Because you may be in a situation where you can't go home to grab your hard copies, but you have them in your vault. You can use your phone to log into your Netlaw account and email those documents to the doctor or the hospital. And then done. In a Bloomberg report that was published not too long ago, 60% of Americans don't have a will. And 90% don't have a comprehensive estate plan. It's way too high. Way too high of a number. That's why we created Netlaw, to make the process of creating your estate planning documents easy. You can do it at home or at work. And it's affordable, right? $600 gets you everything that you need. And we won the James Keene Award from the American Bar Association. Said that we had the best online delivery of legal documents. No one else in estate planning has won that. You can give us a call or email us. We'd love to speak to you. Any questions that you have, we'd be more than happy to answer. But the way to get started with this is definitely contact the person that invited you to this webinar. They are the ones that will get you started on this. They can help answer your questions. They can send you some information. And we do have our buy one, get one free. So if you're interested in this and you want to move forward with this, get with the person that invited you. Our buy one, get one free offer ends July 31st. So you have to buy the program before July 31st. And then what that does is you buy one plan, you get a second plan to give to someone else absolutely free. The only catch is that you have to buy the plan before July 31st. You have a year to give the second plan away, but the promotion ends July 31st. I appreciate your time. I hope you found this very educational. That is my number one goal, is to make this educational so you know the facts and why you need estate planning. So Short, let me turn it back over to you. And if there's any questions, I would love to answer them.
Hi, Mark. Thank you very much for your presentation. I think many of our audience have many questions. So I'm going to read one by one and please answer them.
Yep.
First question is, how often we update the list of assets?
Well, anytime that you have a new asset, you're definitely going to want to update your will so that it's included. So what I would say is I always look at mine once a year, whether I change it or not. I go in just to make sure that everything is still there, because, you know, assets come and go, right? But what really changes is your connections, right? If you had your parents as your executor, maybe they passed away and now you need to name someone else, right? Or you had a family friend who was going to be your guardian and maybe you've fallen out of contact with them and now you need to name someone else. So I always like to look at my plan and just go through it, whether there's changes or not, at least once a year.
Can a 19-year sibling be a guardian for a 14-year-old?
Yes, anyone over the age of 18 can be a guardian.
Okay. My dependents cannot stay if I am not there. What happens in that case?
Okay, say that again. I don't understand it.
My dependents cannot stay here if I'm not there here. What happens in that case?
My dependents?
I think this is more related to the visa question, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, like, can you do this if you're not an American citizen? Is that what they're asking?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, as long as you own property here, you can do the Netlaw program. Absolutely. We're designed to help people. We don't want to limit people in any way.
After creating a will and trust with all the details of assets, what should we do if there is a change in assets, like adding a new assets or existing assets that are not sold?
Yeah, definitely. Log into your plan and add or take away whatever you need. But remember, anytime that you make a change, you want to print that document out and get it witnessed and notarized.
Is $600 for both wife and husband together?
Yes. One plan covers both of you for $600.
Okay. What's the difference between executive and guardian? Where do they differ and similar in what their role is going to be?
Yeah. So two totally separate things. The executor is someone who's going to handle everything when you pass away. So they're going to pay your final bills, right? So if you have any outstanding bills, they're the ones that's going to pay it. They're going to actually file taxes at the end of the year for you. So if you die in August, well, you have 8 months of taxes that you still have to pay. That's the role of an executor. The executor works by going through your will, seeing what assets you've listed and who the beneficiaries are to receive them, and they make sure that the beneficiary receives that asset. That's what an executor does. A guardian is someone who's going to gain custody of your children when you pass away, you and your spouse pass away.
What would be the prices after 1 year?
The price for 1 year is $600 if you buy that plan. If you buy the $400 plan, it's $400.
Can I get the record? Oh, sorry.
What was it?
Oh, no, sorry. Will is one-time process, right? Instead of subscription plan, what's the one-time fee for writing a will?
Yeah, it would be, if you're doing the probate avoidance with the trust, you would pay $600, and that will cover you for the first year. If you want to not continue after the first year, all you're going to pay is $600.
If there are beneficiaries listed for each asset and accounts, such as bank accounts or life insurance, would that still go through probate process?
Yes. Yes. Now, here's what won't go through probate process. The life insurance policy, that will not go through probate. 401k will not go through probate because they already have a named beneficiary. Bank accounts, a lot of bank accounts now, you can put a beneficiary on the bank account. That would not go through probate. But anything that you haven't put into the trust avoids probate. Or anything that you haven't put into the trust will go through probate. The only way you avoid probate is putting your assets into the trust.
Oh, can the guardian be overseas, not a US resident?
Yes, yes, you can name anybody as long as they're 18.
What is the role of guardian in case of immigrants or non-citizens? Do the guardian have to take care of them till 18 years?
Yeah, so the great thing about the Netlaw program is you can name your guardian, and let's say your guardian is going to be your mom and dad, but they still live in India. They can be the main guardians. But in the Netlaw plan, you can name alternate guardians. Maybe someone here, brother, sister, family, friend, where if something happens to you and your spouse, the alternate can come in and take custody of the kids until the main guardians who live overseas can get over here.
Someone has a trust sorted out with Netlaw firm, everything is set. If that person dies, how will the others know that I have a will with Netlaw and it's not that the others assume the person died without a will?
Right. So on the last screen that I showed you, remember I said conversational. When you create this, make sure that you know, or someone knows that you've done it and where to go. If something happens to me, you know, my family knows where to go get my documents. It's very important to let people know that you did this after you did it. You don't have to tell them what's in it. You just have to tell them where to go to get it.
Can the legal guardians for minor children, non-US citizens?
Yeah, they can be. Absolutely.
Okay, $750 for both wife and husband for trust.
Oh, say that again?
Is the cost for the wife? Sorry, is $750 for both wife and husband for the trust?
No, the $750 is the special needs trust. So the revocable living trust is included in the $600 package. That's where you fund your assets into the trust. And that simply means taking the assets out of your name and placing it into the name of the trust so that the trust owns the assets now, not you as an individual. But you're the trustee of your account as long as you're alive. So you don't lose any authority, you don't lose any ownership or anything like that. It's just saying that the trust owns it and that keeps that asset private. So the $750, I don't know if they're referring to the ILIT, which is the life insurance trust. That's only for life insurance policies. Or they may be talking about the special needs trust, and that's for a special needs person in your family. So I'm not sure.
Can the executor and guardian live overseas?
Yes. Now, in some states, they do require that the executor be in the state that you live in. There are some states, it's like 3 states that do that. But the rest of them, yeah, most can live overseas.
What is the role of guardian in case of immigrants and non-citizens? Do the guardian have to take care of them till 18 years or can they send the minor kids to their home country?
No, they have custody. They can do whatever they want.
Executive and guardians need to be US citizen. What if both do not have visa?
Right, that's why we name alternates, right? So your main people can be somewhere from overseas, but you always have alternates that can be here in the US that can start fulfilling those roles until the main person can get over here.
What if I do not have any trustees in USA?
That's okay. Your trustees can be overseas. And they can always work with your executor to help out.
One question is, I heard you can include Indian property in US will. Is that true? Does
That
US
is,
law and Indian law agree about this?
yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. We do it all the time.
Okay. Can guardians be my parents living in India?
Yes.
I'm a Canadian citizen. Can I have will and trust here for my properties, which is in Canada through Netlaw?
No, no, these are only US documents. You have to have assets or any property or assets over here.
Okay. Does the cover assets include across the world?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Cover asset across the world. Does it cover, the Netlaw will cover assets across the world?
Yes, yes. Now we don't record them. You're going to have to record them yourself, or going through the county clerk's office. But yes, any asset anywhere in the world you can include in your trust.
Can the will be modified if either husband or wife dies?
Absolutely. That's why after the first year, that's why you pay the $8, so you have the ability to edit them.
Will be there any change in the prices after first year or second year? First year and second year and so on?
We're not talking about any pricing changes. This price has been set for a very long time, and it hasn't changed in the 6 years that I've worked here. So we don't see any pricing changes coming.
Can we add minors as beneficiary to bank accounts?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
How much does it cost to just write a one-time will and assign a custodian, if not purchasing a one-year plan?
Yeah, if you're just looking for the will and not the trust, that'll be our $400 package.
Is there an expiry of will after 1 year?
Oh, say that again.
Is there an expiry of will after 1 year?
No. I mean, yeah. Well, for the program, it expires after 1 year. If you want to continue it, you pay the $8 a month. But the documents, even if you cancel, your documents are still good for your lifetime. It's just your account closes so that you can't go in and edit them anymore.
Okay. Is there buy one get one free applicable for all plans? For example, if I purchase a $400 plan, can my friend get the same plan for free?
Yes, it's for all plans.
Okay. What's the difference between LegalZoom versus Netlaw?
Yeah, so with Netlaw, all we do is estate planning. LegalZoom's a great company, but you can go set up an LLC or an INC or set up a nonprofit. I think you can talk divorce with them. There's so many things that they dive into. But with us, you only do estate planning, which comes with our Vault system, and which also comes with the template that was created by all attorneys in all 50 states that won the James Keene Award from the American Bar Association. So that's really the difference.
Do we need to record deed with court?
Yeah, you'll need to, when you fund your assets into the trust, you will need to go down to the county clerk's office and have them record the trust.
Once document is filled through a website and documents generated, does it need manual signature or notary to validate the document?
Yeah, you'll need to print it out, get it witnessed and notarized, and you'll need to sign it.
Is there a verification process before you give out my information or documents?
Okay, I think what they're saying is if I pass away, how will somebody get into my account? That's what I'm guessing they're saying. So what we do is if someone calls up and says that they're looking for your documents, it has to be the executor. We will only talk to the executor of that account. And then, yes, we can print out the documents and email it to them.
Original documents which are signed and notarized has to be original copy at Guardian.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yes.
What if you have no one in USA?
For a guardian,
Yeah.
yeah, you can name someone overseas.
Can I have list of the states that trustee and executor live in same state?
Yes. Yeah, they can live in the same state. Um, Now, remember, there are those 3 states that I talked about that if you live in one of those, the executor has to be from the state that you reside in. Other than those 3 states, and I know one of them is Texas, and I cannot remember the other 2. So if it's somebody that wants to give me a call tomorrow at that number, please do so, and I'll find out. But other than that, all 47 other states, they can be in a different state or country.
How will you send all assets to beneficiary in India when I die without?
That's the role of the executor. That's not the role for us. All we're doing is helping you create the documents.
Can I buy this $600 document one time and I discontinue the $8 plan, let's say 2 years down the line? Does my past trust or will still active since that is unchanged?
Yeah. So it's a good question to ask. So yeah, your documents would still be valid, but let's say 2 years down the road, something changes and you need to get back into your account, but you closed it. You know, the great thing is you can always call us back and we can reactivate your account. And the best thing is you don't have to pay the $600 again. What we do is we charge $8 a month for however many months you were closed, but we cap that fee at $250. So the most you'll ever pay to reactivate your account is $250. And that opens your account for 1 month. So you can go in and make as many changes in that month as you can. And then you can either continue and pay $8 a month or cancel it again.
Who takes care of minor until guardian gets through formalities? How long does it take for guardian to get custody of minor?
Yeah, usually the court systems are pretty good about that. It should be like right away.
Is this a one-time payment and be suffice for the kids until they are 18 or above? Or is it needed to continue to be maintained after first year?
Yeah, it's totally up to you. You can keep your account open and active as long as you want, or you can shut it down after the first year. Totally up to you.
As far as I understand, we need to change the will based on the changes like assets, not the trust, correct?
Correct. Correct. Yeah, anytime that you would receive a new asset and we're talking major assets, you know, if you get a new bedroom suit, well, you don't have to put that into your will. We're talking major assets, you know, property, cars, gun collection, major items, right? Jewelry, gold, major items, boats, vacation homes, stuff like that. That's what we want to put in our wills. Or it could be something that you definitely want to go to a single person, right? Like your wedding ring. You want that to go to your son or daughter.
Can you tell us the difference between trust and will again? And what is the advantage of one against the other?
Yeah, so they're 2 separate documents that do 2 separate things. The will is where you name your executor or your guardian. And the will is where you list your assets and who the beneficiaries are going to be, right? In the trust, it just holds your assets so that it avoids probate. So when you pass away, those assets go to your beneficiaries right away. That's the only thing the trust does. It takes those assets, keeps it private, and passes right away. In your will is where you have to list all of those assets and the beneficiaries that go with them. So really, you need both.
And how we can edit them after 1 year? Does it have to be edited with Netlaw, or we need to go somewhere else for editing?
Oh, you can go, yeah, you can take your documents and I guess you could go see an attorney. But would you rather pay $8 a month or $250 every time you need them? I don't know. So totally up to you. But yeah, if you go to an attorney though, they may not take it. They may have you fill out a whole new will or trust or whatever you're trying to change.
Do you have any agents across the US to notarize and witness documents?
Yeah, a lot of our agents are notaries themselves. So you can ask them, and if they're not, they always know someone who is. So talk to the person that invited you to this webinar. I am almost positive that they will know a notary.
Are the documents valid in all 50 states?
Yes.
Can executor be outside of USA?
In all but 3 states, yes.
Can the executor and guarantor be the same person?
Oh, absolutely.
Does Netlaw act as an executor, or is there such professional service that can act as an executor in case of parents die and leave behind children?
Yeah, we would not act as a executor for you. That would not be. If you want that, then you would probably want to speak to an attorney.
Who takes care of minor until guardians get through formalities? How long does it take for guardian to get custody of minor?
Yeah, so it's usually right away. The court system always works with families so that the children don't have to go to foster care or anything like that. But usually, you know, if there's no one over here, then they might have to go into foster care until the guardians can get over here. That's why we always name a main person and then alternates in case that happens, someone who can go and grab them right away and take care of them.
How easy and the process to add assets into trust?
Oh, it's easy. The actual whole process for both husband and wife probably takes 45 minutes to complete all of the documents. It's very, very easy to use. This is a very, it's a very user-friendly system.
Who is executive and what's going to be his role?
Yeah, the executor is anybody that you choose that's over the age of 18. But they're going to be the one that's in charge, right? They're going to write all of your bills when you pass away. They're going to pay your taxes when you die. They're going to make sure that your assets get to the right beneficiaries. So it's a very important person.
Oh, what if you have no executor, none in USA?
Yeah, in all but 3 states, you can name one from overseas, but I would try to list someone here so that things can move along instead of having to wait for somebody to get over here. But totally up to you. If you just want to name someone overseas, that's fine as well.
After making changes to the document, says will, do we need to record it with the attorney again?
No, you don't have to record it. The only thing that gets recorded is when you put your assets into the trust, and the county clerk's office will handle all that for you. And we have funding instructions in our vault that show you how to fund all of your assets into the trust.
Okay.
So hi, Mark. This is Ravi, and we have a couple of questions here. So the first one, what is the process like if the person already have Netlaw will and trust, he has taken the 600 plan and he filled everything, and he also given his document, and he given the document to the key people, and the person, I mean both the parents met with an accident and they no longer there. So what is the process like? Is immediately the kids will goes to the court, or the cops will come to your house and they will take the kids to the court, or how it goes? Like
Yeah, so yeah, if they've named a guardian in the will, then usually what it is, it's like, the Centers for Children will come and they will work with the police to make sure that the guardians that were listed in the will can come and take the kids. Because the last thing anybody wants is putting kids in foster care. Now, if they can't reach these people, then they will have to go to the court system, and the court, will place them somewhere.
Yeah, but we have already have the 600 plan, so that is the purpose of the 600 plan, right?
That's right. Yeah, as long as you name the guardian.
Process, correct?
Right. Yeah, as long as you name the guardian, that's who's gonna get possession of the kids.
Okay, so you mean to say initially they will, it will goes to the court and they will hand over the kids to the guardian, or?
No, they'll let they'll usually let, that person will come, they'll show proof that they're the guardian, and then they will take responsibility of the kids.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So one more question from the member, like, so the guardian or the key person, they want to give it to the person who lives in India and they don't have visa. So what is the process? Like,
The executor can work on helping to get those children over to India. So they'll work with the guardians on getting them, I guess, airfare. And
no, but the kids want to live here and the guardian is in India. So can the guardian get a visa, or how, is it like an emergency visa? Or what?
That's what I would file for, an emergency visa to claim that. Of course, you got to work with the governments on that, so that gets a little sticky. That's why I always emphasize, if you're just, if you're naming someone from over in India, is there anyone that they can stay with here in the US for just a little bit until they can get over here? That's why it's so important to name those alternates.
Okay. What all documents need to be provided by a guardian?
Just need to list their names.
Okay. Yeah. Kishore, do you have any other questions? You can ask. I have two more, but I can ask at the end.
Okay, yeah. If you acquire an asset after you do the trust, do you need to purchase the asset in the name of the trust, or can it be on your name?
Yeah, if you already have the trust and you're buying a new asset, I would definitely buy it in the name of the trust. That way you don't have to go and fund that property or car or anything like that back into the trust. You're saving yourself time and money.
Okay, if I buy an asset and if I want to include them, and do we need to submit a receipt at the time, or?
No, you would just give them, if it's like new property, let's say you buy a new house and you're at the closing and the title company's there, you just tell the title company to write the deed into the name of the trust, not into your individual name, and they'll do it.
Okay, what if I cancel the package after 1 year and it doesn't continue the monthly plan? And if I need to make changes or updates, let's say after 5 years, do I need to pay a full package price?
No, just $250.
Okay. Can more than one person listed as executor?
Yes, absolutely.
I assume that guardians for minor is applicable for US citizens. My kids are born in India. I assume that this is not needed. Am I right?
Yeah. Now, the guardians can be someone from here in the US or overseas.
Bank accounts and 401 have beneficiary options. Do these have to be listed in will? Does it override the beneficiaries on the bank?
Right. Doesn't have to be listed because you already have a named beneficiary.
Can you give some clarity on the 1+1, like $600 offer lets my family and my friend family want to do this separately?
Yeah, so buy one, get one free. So if you buy your plan, so you're buying your $600 package, that's going to cover you and your spouse. But then inside your Netlaw plan, there's going to be a claim BOGO button. You're going to click on that and you're going to put in the person's name, email address, and phone number of who's going to get the free plan. And then they're going to get the same exact plan that you have. Absolutely free.
Is there a limit for the number of guardians that can be listed?
No, there's not. There's not.
If I have property and I want to give it to my siblings, how can I do it?
Yeah, you list those in the will under specific bequest, and you can just list that property and who the beneficiary is going to be. Or if it's more than one beneficiary, you just make two line items. Child A gets 50% of the property, child B gets 50% of the property.
can we have two guardians on file? Primary from
Yes.
India and secondary in the US. The US guardian would essentially help with the immediate need and help until the kids are handed over to the primary custody.
Yes. Yes.
If you include assets from overseas included in the trust, be recorded in the origin country.
Yeah, it'll be recorded over, if you're from India and the property's in India, that deed will be deed transferred from India into your US trust. So the deed transfer is going to have to happen in India.
If I have nominated my spouse in bank account and 401k, trading account and have added guardian in the will, which will take priority?
Or if you name your spouse as your beneficiary on your 401k, I'm not sure what the guardian has anything to do with. Ask the question again.
Okay, if I have nominated my spouse in bank accounts and 401k
Yeah.
accounts and have added the guardian in the will, which will take priority?
Oh, okay. I see what he's saying. Yeah. So the 401k document and the life insurance policies will take precedence over the will.
What if I don't continue after 5 years? My will would be active. What happens to the trust? Will it be still active and I can use that for my assets?
Yeah. You just can't add anything to it. But, if you cancel out and 5 years later, you buy another property, you can still put that property, just have them deed it into the name of the trust. So that way, at least the property is deeded into the trust. It's just you can't go back and add that property into the will.
What is meant by funding the trust?
Placing your assets and taking it out of your individual name and placing it into the name of the trust. That's what funding the trust means. So that the trust owns it and you do not.
Is it good to have beneficiaries listed everywhere, like all assets I have, or it create problems?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, it won't cause any problems because you've named who's going to get it. So there's no fighting. You've already named who's going to get them.
If I buy the package, will I be provided with personal consultation?
Yeah, you can call the number on the screen and we'll help you out.
Can I write a will on sheet of paper and notarize? Will it be valid?
Yes. Yes. It leaves you up for families contested it because it's just on a piece of paper. But yeah, you can write your will on a napkin or anything like that, but pieces of paper wilt away. What if you spill your coffee on it? It goes without saying, this is your will. Do you really want it on a piece of paper or do you want a legal document created by an attorney?
And it also needs to go to the court process, right?
Yeah, it will. It'll go through probate process for sure.
Does my will have a list of all assets listed inside of it?
Yeah, you can list all of your assets in the will.
Guardian also live in the same state? Guardian.
Yeah, guardian can live in the same state.
Okay, I think these are the questions that we have by the audience.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was really good questions, everyone. That was excellent.
So Kishore, I have a few more questions. So Mark, can you explain about out of 100 people, how many people are buying which plan? What is the probability of buying? Because that is a everybody are asking which plan.
90% of what we sell is the $600 package. 90%.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. And
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you all the audience for attending this webinar.
Yeah, thank you. And we will be sending the recorded link to all the participants in the Eventbrite as well as in the WhatsApp message. Yeah.
If any one of you have any questions, please contact either Syam or Kishore Jala. Thank you.